AEW Dynamite was cancelled recently, which was essentially about 5,000 spanners in the works. However, we picked ourselves up, we dusted ourselves off, and we got that beautiful B- grade on the latest episode. And you better watch that grade rise and rise and rise when we welcome Britta from Community, Gillian Jacobs, into the fold. My name is ColmAhern, and this is AEW on TEW 2016. Happy St. Patrick's Day! I will say, just brilliant. Just brilliant. There wasn't much cause for celebration last week, at least for part of it. Because AEW Dynamite, not in Canada or in the UK, but in America, it's been cancelled. And, as you saw, no TV network wants to take it. USA Network have rejected your request for negotiations, as it's been less than a year since the collapse of your deal with TNT to show AEW Dynamite, and that makes them wary. Oh, come on. Where do you stand on this, Mr. and Mrs. Netflix? Stand on the wrong side of history. That's where you stand. What was the other one? ESPN Plus? Is it the same thing? Is everyone going to say the same thing to me? It wasn't all doom and gloom last week, however, as I made a couple of signings. I brought some new, fresh blood into All Elite Wrestling, because I've been banging on about the women's division for a number of weeks now and how it needs to be strengthened. So after diving into the popularity of many wrestlers in the United States, I found Miyu Yamashita, who is going to be coming in and tearing up the women's division. Her debut will be happening soon. Maybe on this week's, I'm not sure yet. And there was also another new arrival. One that I'm not too sure why she's in the game, but she is, and my God, am I happy that she's in this game. Gillian Jacobs is an American actress. Britta! She is known for portraying Britta Perry on the NBC Yahoo screen comedy series Community. What? Why? So she's weak in ring. Physical attributes average. Entertainment very strong. Camera very strong. Reputation strong. So she would obviously come in as a mouthpiece. But under what guise, I don't really know. Why? Britta from Community. Unbelievable. And naturally enough, I made the connection last week, and you better believe we're going to be going strong with that. Gillian Jacobs is going to be managing Orange Cassidy. It is a match made in heaven. Now, recapping last week's Dynamite, we got back to our trusty B- overall show, which is good after a rough experimental period of a week, which cost me my US TV deal, but we'll put that behind us. This was a good show all in all, headlined by Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley beating Chris Jericho and Jake Hager. Moxley got the pin over Hager, so the plan is now, because the ultimate goal is to have Kenny Omega and Jon Moxley at Double or Nothing for the title. But before then, there is a plan, I mentioned this last week, to have, similar to what AEW do in reality, have a big episode of Dynamite, a la their Bash at the Beach or the Chris Jericho Rock and Rager, on the second week of April. Now, we're in the third week of March, so that gives us 2 more weeks of build before the actual show itself. And then we have, I think it's 6 weeks to build Double or Nothing. Some of the stories will be continuing, some of them won't be. But Jon Moxley is going to face Jake Hager on that night. He's going to get the pinfall. And then he is going to take on Kenny Omega for the title. Jericho? I'm not sure yet. And I know that's terrible because he's one of my biggest stars. So I'm going to have a serious think about that. And then you have the Conquest stuff as well with Cody cut a promo on Kip Sabian, because he is going to go through some of the members of Conquest before... first of all, him and his brother, I'll pull up the storylines here. Before him and his brother are going to take on Marty Scurll and PAC at the big Dynamite. And then that's going to lead to him and Zack Sabre Jr. at Double or Nothing. So you're looking at all of the AEW wrestlers who are well known in America. And that includes Chris Jericho, Jim Ross, John Moxley, Kenny Omega, and Zack Sabre Jr. Now, that astounded me last week because I would have imagined that Cody would have been more well known than ZSJ, but it's at the tier below where both PAC and Cody come in. So I am going to build up the appearance of Zack Sabre Jr. He's going to appear at the end of the tag match between PAC, Marty Scurll, and the Brotherhood of the Rhodeses. And it's going to be make a splash, and then he's going to face Cody at Double or Nothing. And there's a couple of other things like establishing Darby Allin versus MJF. The Hung Bucks versus the young lads of Sabian and Bate is going to be happening as well. There's a couple of things. Jungle Boy versus Rey Fenix. We'll get into all that. Orange Cassidy with Britta versus Sammy Guevara. And whilst I'm trying to run this not too dissimilar from real AEW. I don't want... There was... kind of muddied the waters at the start with the wedding angle and stuff. We've gotten serious since. I want it to be a fairly modern professional wrestling product. You can, in a modern professional wrestling product, use sleaziness as a good heel trait, however. We see it with MJF now. And Sammy Guevara. And I want to take his hit me up style character and bring it into this storyline. He's going to chance his arm at Gillian Jacobs. Boo, you bastard. And Orange Cassidy then is going to be like, hey, she's my friend, you're a goal. He's not going to say any of this. Obviously, he'll probably just stick his thumb up. And then they'll face off. Just a nice little TV program, because what's the first rule of AEW and TEW 2016? Get Orange Cassidy over. Now, if I remember correctly, last week I found out that Frankie Kazarian is coming back. He's back in a day. That's right, I found out because Riho got injured. Yeah. So, because of that, why is Walter fatigued? He hasn't even debuted for me yet. Or ZSJ. Well, look, maybe the rest time is good for them, so. But Frankie Kazarian and Scorpio Sky are still... The plan is for them to lose the belts to the Private Party. And as I said last week, Jungle Boy got a pin in a 6-man over one of Private Party lads. And the plan will be to run with a tag program for them at Double or Nothing. But I think... Because there's no real... I've done all of my gimmick changes from last week. I've done all that. I think it's best to run AEW Dynamite. Let's just get cracking. Get on the road to... What is it? March, April. What could we call this stupid one-off Dynamite that the game most certainly won't allow me to call it? Bash at the Super Battle Bowl Starcade. We gotta stop living off WCW before we book Dynamite. Britt Baker wants a pay rise. I'm currently being paid $230 per appearance. All of these people who've come to me for a pay rise are being paid a pittance, which is a lot lower than the $510 that I'm worth. I'm requesting a $280 pay rise. So the thing is, Britt, you're 100% worth it. You're worth more than that. However, I can't. I gave Statlander 75%. I think it was Isaiah Cassidy 75%. We gotta, we just gotta pull on the purse strings a little. So I think 75 is more than enough. I just want to keep my roster happy as well, because I have... Yeah, she, I think, seems happy enough. Like, this list here used to be so long. So I'm beginning to kind of get people a little bit calm. Emails. We have some emails. Right, Matt Riddle extends his deal. That's because he's on my short list. Cat is injured. Again, short list. Tyler Bate relocates. Good. He's in Midwest USA. So that's promising for It's time with AEW. Walter's gone from WWE. I thought that would have happened already, but to be fair, I don't have him on an exclusivity deal. Orange Cassidy gone from A1. Oh, that was a loan period, right. Oh, hang on, is Walter still wrestling? Is he wrestling for both me and WWE? Employers AEW, WXW, NXT UK, Progress, and OTT. Unbelievable. Well done, Walter. That's a hustler. Oh, no. Vibrato in my voice even sold that more. Are you serious? A full elbow MCL rupture. Not a half or a quarter or an eighth or a 12th or something I could work with, but the full thing. Alex, look, I'll get to you in a while. All right, I can't be dealing with that. At least Kaz is back. How long is he? Oh, for Christ's sake. Really, like, give me a break, game. 5 months and 3. Let me put my glasses on again so I know for definite that says 5 months and 3 weeks. 5 months and 3 weeks. Why? I understand that's the joy of having a wrestler who's not exclusive to you. He works New Japan, Noah, Rev Pro. But, that's genuinely heartbreaking. He's a B as a babyface and C plus as a heel. Come on, game. If anything, that should be the other way around, or at least equal. But that's beside the point. 5 months. Okay. I mean, Jericho's not doing anything for Double or Nothing. I'd deal with that in due course. At least he hadn't debuted yet, because then that would be quite awkward. So... For Christ's sake. The show must go on, and it will. But before kickoff, I do want to because I have a couple of big personalities in the locker room. Chris Jericho, Dustin Rhodes, Peter Avalon, yeah, sure. And Sammy Guevara. I want him to be bigger, at least. But Chris Jericho's the biggest one. He's one of my top 3 stars. So I am going to allow people... I'm going to clear the air. This worked before. I did this. I think I can check, can't I? The backs... Where is it? You cleared the air before AEW Revolution. So I'm going to allow Chris Jericho to air his grievances. And hopefully that'll work. There must be at least 3 unhappy workers present to use this. Well, I've 4, don't I? Oh no, I don't. I have 2. I have people who are a negative influence, which Sammy Guevara apparently is. So maybe clearing the air would be silly. Did I do anything else? You discreetly meddle with the relationship between 2 members of the locker room. This can be used in a positive way or a negative way just to see what will happen. With the unpredictable nature of human relationships, who knows what the outcome will be? I mean, that's just mean. I don't want to fire anyone. I could rib. You pull a rib on someone. This is the chance of improving locker room morale and possibly making the target happier if he or she sees the funny side, but has the disadvantage that it may backfire and annoy them instead. Let's pull a minor rib on Dustin Rhodes. He's a bit of a laugh, I think. I think he'll enjoy it. Because I could do it on Jericho, but I don't want my champion walking out on me. So this has a 30% chance of improving locker room morale. There's a 10% chance of upsetting the target. Otherwise, there's a 15% chance of improving their morale. I think, why not? What can we do to Dustin? I mean, this is pointless because the game it doesn't require you to think this deeply about it, but thinking something to do with the face paints, maybe glue, although that could be hazardous to his health. So maybe not that. This is... Oh, you can actually... Oh, this is good. But you can change a minor rib, practical joke, major prank, risky rib, elaborate plot. Okay, Okay, it doesn't tell you what they are. That's good. I like that. Let's pull a practical joke on him. Again, face paint related. You know? In his tub of red, it'll be gold. And he'll stick it on. He'll kick off. He probably suffers. You know, his mind will go back to those dark days on WWE Velocity or whatever. Main event, I suppose, these days. But it's wrestling. It's a bit of a laugh. Bit of a laugh. And Dustin seems like a man who can take a joke. So your rib has gone down well with the rest of the locker room. And Dustin Rhodes said to have been upset. Didn't want to be reminded of those dark days. Oh, balls. Balls. That's much bigger now. Cody was unhappy with the rib. Deary me. Okay. Maybe stick to just booking the shows and allow them and just pay them the money, you know? How would you like it if your boss came up to you and changed your face paint? Because Frankie Kazarian is back, I want to really focus on the tag program again. So we're going to run a 6-man with SCU and let's see, they're not, because I was going to say stick MJF with them and Darby Allin with them. And the main idea is to turn SCU heel. But I don't think I have enough major heel tag teams. I'll preface that. So yeah, I was going to stick MJF with them, but I don't think I should do that yet. Instead, I'm going to have a singles match to start the show with Frankie Kazarian going over one of Private Party. Just trying to think. So Isaiah Cassidy is his momentum is a minor positive, and I'm guessing Mark Quinn is the same because they are down as a unit in the team section. If I can find Isaiah or Mark Quinn, he is here. Yeah, so both of them are minor positives, so it doesn't really matter. Completely changed my mind, and it's going to be a draw because I think that this is something AEW in reality has toyed with, but haven't fully gone all in on. Pardon the annoying use of all in. And I think it's something that they should, because it gives you another way to finish a match. The reason I say they haven't is because you think of that Iron Man match between Kenny and PAC, which was terrific, one of the best matches this year. However, the ending soured it for me a little bit. The fact that we're going to overtime and it's meant to be this sports product, but Justin Roberts, the match ends and then Justin Roberts comes out of the blue and he's like, I've just been told from the back that we're going to overtime. Would this not be something that you discussed beforehand? Why can't it be a draw? My theory, and if there is anyone watching this from America, please do either tell me that I'm completely wrong and talking utter wallop, or, see if you agree with me. I think AEW's tendency to not go whole hog with the draw, as say using the Iron Man match as the example, is because of Americans' what they're used to when it comes to sport. Like American football, I don't think can end in a draw, can it? It goes to overtime. I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Basketball the same. Ice hockey, I think the same, although that might be able to end in draws. Because there needs to be a winner and there needs to be a loser, because that's kind of the better. It's like a Hollywood story, whereas you look at the most popular sport over on this side of the world, football, and all 10 matches in the Premier League this weekend could be a draw. Probably won't be, but it could be, and that's fine. I don't know. I'd be interested. Let me know if I'm talking out my arse or if that's something that you may agree with. I'm going to have MJF again, I'm pushing him more as a focal point of the show. I'm going to have him do this nice little angle, which I haven't really messed around with the funny little different Attitude Era style angles. But this one here, a worker showing arriving at the arena limo, closely followed by his bags, which get their own private limo too. Ooh, he's wealthy. Yeah, you feckin' bastard. After that then, I'm going to have MJF cut a promo on Darby Allin. I'm going to give him the whole 10 minutes because I think he can 100% handle it. And that will be the involvement of that storyline on the show. To continue on, the Chris Statlander and Britt Baker becoming friends. Like, this is admittedly quite rushed because I'm trying to force their friendship and then break them up in the space of what will probably work out to be maybe 4 weeks. So it's not great, I'll give you that, but hopefully that will be a short chapter 1 in a much longer story. But I'm going to have, once again, Chris Statlander, because I think she won the last match. And Britt Baker is going to be becoming jealous of her very quickly. Britt Baker, a short fuse. But I'm going to have Chris Statlander go over Leva Bates, because I think is the easy person in the other team of Leva Bates and the Bunny to take the fall. And just using the Bunny because I haven't used her in a while. And I suppose a storytelling match. I've set the first match to storytelling, Frankie Kazarian and Mark Quinn, which I might just change to a regular match. But I make this a storytelling match, and I will... Do I need to protect anyone? It specifies that a certain worker's flaws should be hidden as much as possible. I'm sorry I have to read these every week. There's just so much in this flipping game. Britt Baker is going to have a limited involvement in this match. For storytelling purposes as well, because the idea is that she's jealous Chris Statlander is doing this essentially by herself. And she's very good and the people are loving her and all that. Yeah, and this is the problem with what you have in your head versus what you've told the game. So I'm not totally sure if it works really, but that's the plan. Just gonna hype up a John Moxley interview because the man is ratings. But before that, and because ZSJ is sadly, I was gonna say sadly no longer, he's injured. He's off for nearly 6 months. I am going to temporarily give that spot to Jimmy Havoc, because Jimmy Havoc is, when I brought in Marty Scurll, he was like, oh, it's great, you're bringing in Marty Scurll. And I think Jimmy Havoc is also, is he pals with one of the other lads? He may be. So I'm going to have Jimmy Havoc face off against Dustin Rhodes. I think it's a good way to, we annoyed Dustin Rhodes slightly, so it's a good way to potentially build his morale up and build him up alongside his brother for this big tag team match. So I learned a couple of weeks ago there were a couple of match aims that I needed to have on each show. There was High Spots, Car Crash, Steal the Show, and Storytelling. That's what the AEW fans expect. So I think Jimmy Havoc is perfect for a car crash match. Dustin Rhodes maybe not so much. Because of that, I wonder if I should I protect Dustin Rhodes? This specifies that a certain worker's flaws should be hidden. I mean, I read this 5 minutes ago and it's just gone. You don't need to see this bit. I mean, his hardcore is 30. So maybe it is best if I protect Dustin Rhodes' flaws in this instance. Still giving the crowd their car crash match. But yeah. It's just he's protected. And he'll be able to go over Jimmy Havoc, and maybe he may forgive us for the whole gold face paint. We're going to have Shanna and Sadie Gibbs go up against Bea Priestley and Nyla Rose. Because Nyla has just been... She's been annihilating everyone. However, Shanna, she needs to be considered an actual threat to the title. And at this point in time, having Bea Priestley take the loss is an easy thing to do whilst building up Shanna. This gives Santana and Ortiz something to do. It aligns them greater with Jake Hager, puts him to the forefront rather than just having him be Jericho's lackey. And I think is a good way to further this angle. So a worker's in the ring and calls out an enemy. That worker is Jake Hager. You were going to come out here and cut a promo, but I'm here before you and I'm calling you out, you bastard. Something like that. As soon as they come out, they are jumped by two of the workers' allies who had been lying in wait and gets beaten down. And that, I don't think Jake Hager needs to be scripted either. I'm pretty sure the game actually rates him quite highly in pretty much every regard. No, they didn't. Not with regards speaking. That was actually, I remember that from last week. It was bang on the money with regards to that. I don't know why it says Leva is ambushed, but Jake Hager, he shall be scripted. I think that's for the best. What's the aim? Push Orange Cassidy. That's the aim. We're going to do that this week in a 6-man. The Best Friends versus the Hybrid 2 and Peter Avalon. All of the librarians on this week's show, which is very, very nice. Plus Peter Avalon, he was kicking off, so I don't know, being on the show might make him happy, although eating the loss, which he most certainly will be doing, he may not be overly happy with that. But we're going to have him lose. We're going to have Orange Cassidy win. And the match aim could try steal the show for the laugh. They do need a steal the show match. Don't make sense for that to be the main event, I suppose. High Spots is one of the other. Steal the show. This specifies that the aim of the match. I'm so sorry I have to read these all the time. I mean, I have workhorses like Trent and obviously my... Oh, that's not Angelico. That's Adam Page. What are you doing here? Why do you keep trying to put yourself into my angles? My matches. I'll get to you in a while. That's meant to be... Where is he? There he is, my little diamond in the rough. You're meant to be on this. Yeah, anyway. I have to go and change all these again. I'm going to give it Steal the Show. I think there's enough talented here. Maybe keep Orange Cassidy's involvement limited, which probably should be in every match anyway, and could be onto a winner. And the reason we're running that match there, what are we at? 89 minutes. Okay, we're getting up to the 2-hour mark. Because I want to run an angle. Sex and romance. And I want the best thing, because I want Sammy Guevara to go, Gillian Jacobs, what are you doing here? What are you this is mental. He's going to turn on the charm. He's going to ask her out, and then she's going to refuse. And he'll be very cross, I suppose, and take it out on Orange Cassidy, and they're going to have a nice little TV program. Prior to the main event, and because I haven't had any involvement from Chris Jericho on the show, maybe this might be a little too much Jake Hager, but we will see. I'm going to have Jericho and Hager cut a promo on Kenny and Mox. Now, this says hyping up an upcoming 2v2 match, but I think if we treat this as Jericho going, Kenny, you're a goal, and then Hager going, Mox, you're a goal, but in our respective matches, we think your goals, not in another upcoming tag team match. That's how I'm going into it. And hopefully the game won't penalise me for thinking that. I don't think it will. So after the match, which is going to be quite simple, Cody's going to beat Kip Sabian in under 10 minutes. I'm then going to have Conquest rush the ring and beat up Cody. And Dustin Rhodes is gone home. That's where he is. That's why he doesn't save Cody. But it's really important to keep Kip Sabian strong, and Tyler Bate and Marty Scurll and PAC. But you know, the young lads are going to be going up against the Hung Bucks, who don't appear on this show. But I want to try and have them. They can eat losses, and they'll have to eat losses when up against someone like Cody. But I don't want them being, totally soured. So I'm pretty sure I'm happy with all of this. Frankie Kazarian and Mark Quinn actually get the most 17 minutes. MJF, the little kind of demonstrating his wealth with his bag coming in the limo after him. He's going to cut a promo on Darby Allin. Then you have the tag team match, Statlander and Baker over Leva and the Bunny. Moxley, big announcement coming. PAC going, Jimmy Havoc, you're facing off against one of those Rhodes bastards. Do you want to join us? Ooh, I don't know. They have a match. Dustin Rhodes goes over. The Jimmy Havoc alliance can happen next week. Then Shanna gets a win. She pins B to build her up for the women's program. Jake Hager comes out. Moxley, you were going to cut a promo. Well, I'm doing it now. Come out here, ambushed. Then you've the announcement happened last week, but Cody and Sabian hyped. 6-man here, best friends, win over Hybrid 2 and Librarian Man. Then Guevara asks Gillian Jacobs out. He's rejected. Jake Hager and Jericho cut a promo about Omega and Moxley. And then Cody versus Kip Sabian, and then Cody the post-match attack. Cody and PAC are attacked. That shouldn't be right. A wrestler who has just won is celebrating when another 4 workers in the ring. So I cloned this off another angle, which was a tag team being beaten by a number of people. Right, I need to have a look at that, because I don't know. That's not right. I don't want that to happen. Cody isn't aligned with PAC. That would be silly. And this is a very serious business, all right? Professional wrestling is serious business. So I think I did that right when I cloned this angle. Post-match attack 4-on-2. Changed it to 4-on-1. And pretty positive it should work, even though it says Cody and PAC are attacked. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to clone an angle like this 2-on-1, because that specifies that there is only one victim. I can just change that to 4 workers run in and sneak attack him. And yeah, I don't want PAC being aligned with Cody. That would be very silly. Right, I'm happier with that. PAC and Scurll post-match attack on Cody. Doesn't mention the other 2 lads, but at least it specifies that Cody is by himself. So that's all right. And I think that's a television program. I mean, it's a television program, but I think it's a decent one. So let's run it. And as always, let's let the game tell me it's terrible. Or a B-. Take that. Oh, good start. Frankie Kazarian in his comeback with Mark Quinn. The draw gets C-. The announcing lifted the match, got the show off to a strong start. Crowd got hot. Frankie Kazarian foreshadowed a heel turn during the segment. That's fine. As I said, SEO turning heel. Yeah. We're happy with that. Good stuff. Oh, that surprises me. MJF would be better off without Wardlow. They simply don't work well together. Wardlow is not suited to his gimmick. I changed it. What's the problem? Do I need to change it again? Oh, that's good. That's sure his next segment is going to be putrid, so isn't it? This is where he cuts a promo on Darby Allin. C-. All right. That's better. MJF worked the crowd well, using the freedom to improvise to his advantage. He'd be better off without Wardlow. Wardlow is not suited to his gimmick. That is frustrating as f***. I changed it. Do you want me to change it again? I don't have to do anything here to change. Like he is no longer a hired gun, and he is whatever I changed him to last week. I think it was a badass. Unless I'm missing something. And like when you set somebody to turn in the game, you need to like do something during a show to turn them. But okay, maybe MJF is better off by himself. Oh, well, he's told me out straight. A D- for a tag match in a terrible match. I mean, matches have gotten like E's and E pluses and whatever else from on episodes of Dynamite and things, and they've never been called a terrible match. Anyway, this one was. Britt Baker was really off her game. The bunny's not suited to her gimmick. Jesus Christ. Flow of the match was hurt because some of the workers having little or no involvement. Oh. Right. Okay, maybe I should have had Britt Baker involved. The hints at Britt Baker's heel turn got a poor reaction, as much of the crowd remember her last turn. I don't remember doing that, but I'm guessing I did. Britt Baker in-ring performance of F+, limited involvement. Chris Statlander D, Bunny E+, and Leva Bates D-. The storyline has advanced with the segment but lost heat. Deary, deary me. And this is where you start to question your long-term booking, and should you just turn around and say, keep Britt Baker as a face, maybe turn Chris Statlander heel. Huh. Food for thought. Look at this. Just 60 seconds of JR, Tony Schiavone and Excalibur saying Jon Moxley's going to talk there in a while. A B. Wow. I think I said this before, but the show should just be, all of Jon Moxley announcements are just Cody walking around for 2 hours. The crowd would just eat it up. D for the PAC and Jimmy Havoc angle. PAC is in the ring along with Jimmy Havoc. PAC gives him a choice. He can either join with PAC and work together, or he'll be considered an enemy and will become a target. PAC clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script, perform well, good. Was there any notes about their relationship or anything like that? Jimmy Havoc got a bonus for high morale. PAC was penalised for low morale. PAC got a bonus for good momentum. I hope PAC's morale picks up soon, because he wasn't happy with being booked against Orange Cassidy. But he seems to be enjoying what he's doing lately, and at least his segments are being rated from okay to quite good. D for the match, which it says this is decent. And I did the women's tag team match not get a D+. That was a terrible match. Oh, for sake. Dustin Rhodes is injured. Oh dear. It doesn't sound like, it's not a full fat injury like Zack Sabre Jr. got. But that is a shame. Okay then. D- and about that it's subpar wrestling and non-existent crowd heat. Shannon, Sadie Gibbs beat B. Priestley and Nyla Rose. Sadie Gibbs in-ring performance of D. Shannon E+. Nyla Rose D+. B. Priestley E. Good. C-. Jake Hager is in the ring, calls out Jon Moxley to face him. As soon as Moxley appears, he gets jumped by Santana and Ortiz, who had been lying in wait. The ambush leaves Jon Moxley down and out. The announcing lifted the segment. Color commentary, Jon Moxley was a real star. Santana was underwhelming and Ortiz underperformed. There does appear to be, again, from my experience with the game, quite a stark contrast between the people who are considered stars or draws and the people who aren't. And the people who aren't will a lot of the time underperform in segments. And that's annoying. Like trying to figure out where the game positions some of these people. But all the same, C- is alright. More than alright, it's good. Okay, every match that Cody's in, the announcement thereof it's not going to be A's and B's all over the place. D+ for the 6-man of the Best Friends against the Librarian and the Hybrid 2. It had subpar wrestling, little heat, blah, blah, blah. Orange Cassidy defeated Peter Avalon with a super kick. In terms of in-ring work, Angelico was head and shoulders. He always is. Gillian Jacobs did some good work at ringside. Good. The flow of the match was hurt because some of the workers having little involvement. Okay, the whole little involvement thing doesn't wash all the time, it seems. Angelico came out looking good. Gillian Jacobs has debuted her fan favourite gimmick. Has gotten an initial rating of great. Chuck Taylor D+, Trent D, Orange Cassidy F+, Angelico C, Jack Evans D, and Peter Avalon E. Maybe I need to put that limited involvement thing to bed and focus on the protect. That seems to work much better. D for the angle involving Sammy Guevara and Gillian Jacobs. Sammy Guevara comes up to Gillian Jacobs, asks her out on a date, but she rejects the proposal. Sammy Guevara was terrible with no script to follow. His dialogue was a mess. Oh, feck. Gillian Jacobs clearly enjoyed having the freedom to go off script and perform well. Sammy Guevara underperformed. Gillian Jacobs looked good. Sammy Guevara needs to be scripted. Well, that's what he will be in future. C+, I thought that would do better. For the promo that Chris Jericho and Jake Hager cut on John Moxley and Omega. Omega and Jericho lost heat. That's a bummer. Is that because of Jake Hager? Minus Chris Jericho was penalised for low morale. What do you want from me, Chris? Is it money? What will make you happy? Because I will do my very best to give it to you. You're really important to this program that's on ITV4 and TSN. It's not on in America. Is that the issue? Oh, well, that's brilliant. I mean, sure, it's not a B or an A. I've had better main events in the past, but I'm really, really surprised and happy with this. Because Kip Sabian, since he's joined Conquest and been involved in angles, it's not always been a knockout, and often in the little notes it'll say Kip Sabian was the useless part of this, so this is good. Had decent wrestling but didn't have much heat. Cody defeated him, that's fine. That's alright. Good, and Kip Sabian's improving his performance skills. Happy with that. What were the negatives? Kip Sabian was penalised for inconsistency. Announcing quality was penalised for very low experience. Don't think I've seen that before. But yeah, that's good. Not so good with the post-match angle. Cody celebrating his victory in the ring. PAC and Scurll run in and attack, beating Cody down to the mat. Marty Scurll is getting better at his gimmick. Good. Cody came across well. Kip Sabian was very underwhelming. This is what I'm on about. Maybe Kip Sabian should be just have him wrestle and keep him out of the angles. Maybe that would be for the best. Come back, B-. All is forgiven. Why did that get... I suppose the angle got a D. What was that? Or the Sammy Guevara not being scripted, D. Yeah. Not the most explosive episode of Dynamite, to be fair. As is always the case, we have a couple of emails waiting for us after Dynamite. And I have no doubt that, as I said last week, I'll be told that Sammy Guevara is useless. Someone will tell me that. I'm sure another veteran will say that Kip Sabian should be cut loose. All that. Really looking forward to all these emails that I will ignore. Where do we start? I need to delete some of these. So here, oh yeah! Dustin Rhodes sustained, after a botch move from Jimmy Havoc. Dear. Right, Alex Marvez, I need to talk to him. I mean, he's not doing anything. I don't have him doing anything on the television program. I don't know if it's worth keeping him around. Frankie Kazarian is now returned. I know he wrestled on the show last night and Sadie Gibbs is relocated. Okay. Well, I'm going to delete all of them. But I do need to check my medical. How long... What's the damage, Dustin? 41 days. He's going to miss the big Dynamite, isn't he? Oh, hang on. I can perform... This is new. I haven't seen this before. The following workers can be treated surgically. Double-click the name to view surgery options. Surgical risk. Extreme risk. What is that? What, I can... Like, his career can end? Do that. Very good. To be fair, I've never used that. I've never gone back on a save because you're seeing all this. So it's like... it would be useless anyway. But let's start his surgery. Complications unfortunately arose during surgery and the operation has been deemed a failure. Zack Sabre Jr. will now face a longer recovery time and the surgeons have warned that some additional damage may become apparent in the future. Oh no. Well, it's 6 months now. It didn't actually add loads, but... So what was I just meant to leave nature take its course instead of having Zach go through surgery? Because that's silly if that's the case. But yeah, that is a major spanner in the works. At least we have Jimmy Havoc, eh? If you like this video, please like this video and give it a thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. Also, let me know in the comments what you would like to see in our AEW. There are 2 other videos off to the side there if you're looking for more to watch. But most importantly, please subscribe and then hit the bell to be notified of all future uploads on this channel. Thank you very much for watching. You are a star.